Hi, Ben here from Simply Spanish Wine, and today I want to talk to you about the red grape Garnacha. So Garnacha is one of the most widely grown red grapes in the world, and in Spain it's about the third most grown grape behind Tempranillo and Bobal. It's a late ripening grape and it really likes hot, dry conditions. It's not a big fan of the rain at all. And it's fairly wind and drought resistant. So it's got a really good root set that can dig down and find the water in quite dry, stony grounds. So out in vineyard, it's actually quite a robust vine for winemakers, but it's a bit tricky to work with. Because it's got such robust vines, it means it's quite difficult to harvest mechanically, so often have to do a manual harvest with it. And it has a tendency to oxidize if you don't treat it well, so you need to know what you're doing with a Garnacha wine. Now historically it's often been used as a blender to go into other wines. In Rioja it's been used a lot to give a little bit more body and fruit to the Tempranillo grape in Rioja wines. And even in Priorat in southern Catalonia, which is probably one of the most famous Garnacha producing regions, even there they'll mix it in with Carignan or Merlot, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon to produce a more rounded red wine. So often used and blended in combination with other grapes. But Priorat is actually where it started to get noticed as a grape because of the really great wines that were coming out of there. And some of the younger, more modern winemakers started to realize that Garnacha had potential as a single variety wine. And now you're actually finding quite a few producers in places like Aragon, Navarra, and in central Spain around Madrid are actually producing quite a lot of single variety versions of the Garnacha. So what's it like to drink? Well, Garnacha produces really soft, easy drinking wines. It's low in tannins, so you don't get that woody, dry sort of flavor in the mouth quite so much. But it's still quite high in alcohol because it's late ripening. That means the fruit has more time to develop the sugars, which then become in alcohol in the wine. So when you're drinking it, you do know you've got a red wine in your mouth. There's definitely a full flavor in there. And in terms of the fruit, the younger wines have got a good bit of strawberry, raspberry, nice red fruits in there. But some of the varieties using older vines that have been left to age for a little bit, you then start to get sweeter, deeper fruit flavors, a little bit like fig. And occasionally as well, you'll find a little bit of a kind of white pepper sort of flavor just on top of the wine, which is really nice, gives it a little bit of character to it as well. If you're looking to pick up a bottle of Garnacha, then I would recommend the Navarra and Aragon versions of it are a good place to start. They're quite reasonably priced wines and good quality. Priorat, as I mentioned before, produces some absolutely excellent Garnachas, but just be warned that you will pay a little bit more for them. And to be honest, part of that is because of the name. Priorat has become quite famous for its wines, and therefore that's pushed the price up a little bit. So you might actually find that in Aragon and Navarra you'll find equally good quality but at a slightly more affordable price. And then if you want Garnacha in its purest form, I would absolutely recommend taking a look at some of the wines that are coming out of the central Spain region, the areas of Mentrida and also Vinos de Madrid. You've got winemakers like Danny Landi and Fernando Garcia who are producing some absolutely brilliant versions of Garnacha in its purest form. You'll pay more for them, they're not cheap wines, but if you really want to splash out a little bit and try a proper good quality Garnacha, then I would recommend taking a look at one of those. So I hope that's given you a little bit of insight into the Garnacha grape and encouraged you to go out and try finding a bottle or two of it. If you've liked this video, please give us a thumbs up, leave a comment below. And if you haven't already, then think about subscribing to our channel or our Facebook page, Simply Spanish Wine. In the meantime, we'll see you again soon. Thanks.